What's happening, y'all? This is Glitch bringing you another BDSP Wi-Fi battle, and I want to start this video off by thanking the dude in the comments, I believe his name was Elixir, that solved my Machamp mystery. Alright, last battle I was hitting Gliscor with my ice punches and it wasn't doing the damage that it should have, but then he drew my attention to the fact that Gliscor had used Roost, and I was like, oh my god, duh. He lost his 4x weakness when he roosted and lost his flying type. So anyways, I think the dude's name is Elixir. I appreciate you, thank you, sir. I have another Machamp battle for y'all today, so let's check it out. Okay, looking at my opponent's team, he has the T-Tar, the Zapdos, the Clefable, Absol, Ditto, and Muck. I want to let y'all know this is not the same Machamp that I was using last time. It's still a Guts Machamp, pretty much the same, but it has Poison Jab over Bullet Punch because I didn't feel like getting walled by Clefable, right? So, I figure that my opponent is probably going to want to lead out with the T-Tar, the Zapdos, the Clef, or the Ditto, right? There's a lot of leads there. So I figured the T-Tar probably has rocks. That looks like the rocker. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lead out with my Machamp trying to catch that T-Tar slipping. But he does end up leading out with the Ditto, which I knew was a possibility. So I wasn't too stressed out about it. I had mentally already prepared for what I'm going to do in this situation. I'm going to just go ahead and switch out my Machamp for my Zapdos because the Zapdos has the static ability. I'm hoping to catch that static paralysis. So we go ahead and we switch Zapdos in right here, and he clicks knockoff. I was pretty sure he was going to click knockoff and not ice punch. I mean, he could have been an absolute champ and click ice punch, but he didn't. He goes for the knockoff, and we don't get the static, which really sucks, but that's okay. I'm not too stressed about it. I'm pretty sure he's going to switch out right here into that T-Tar. That seemed like the obvious switch, so I got to go ahead and click discharge to try to catch that paralysis. If he wouldn't have switched out, I could have possibly paralyzed that Ditto too, which would have worked. I'd have taken either, right? But best case scenario, he switches T-Tar in and we do get the static or the paralysis on the T-Tar. The reason I felt like that was so necessary is because that T-Tar, if it would have been full speed, it would have outsped my Machamp, which then I wouldn't have been able to knock him out as easily, right? Because he could have hit me first. So we go ahead and we freely volt switch out of here. And right here, I believe that I do bring in Machamp again, now that he's paralyzed. So, Machamp is the best switch that I have right here, because if he decides to stay in, well, that's going to be a dead T-Tar, right? He goes for the Stealth Rocks, which I figured he was going to do. So, I was able to come in pretty freely, right? So my Machamp gets his Guts activated right here because we get burned by the Flame Orb. So now Machamp is burned, pissed off, and we're ready to start dropping things, dropping Pokemon, alright? So I do think about going for the knockoff right here, but I really actually don't see any need to because Machamp's close combat is so strong that whatever he brings in is not going to appreciate it. Okay, this Zapdos is not a counter. Watch this. Boom. Yeah, right. That did so much damage. Guts boosted Machamp is the strongest close combat outside of, you know, a Swords Dance and Infernape in OU. So Machamp is very threatening. So I brought him in, and now it's time to bring him out because I'm pretty sure that Zapdos is just gonna U-turn, or possibly Roost right here. But I don't think he's going to attack, right? But just in case he does, I got to get my Machamp out of there. With our defenses down, we probably won't take a hit well. So Swampert seems like my best switch in right here, considering if he decides to U-turn, it's going to do about negative damage. If he does any electrical type attack, it is going to do no damage. And if he roosts, well, that's okay. We'll get rocks up right here, and then we'll yawn him out, or vice versa. So he does go for the discharge, and that doesn't affect Swampert. So Swamp Thing is ready to start setting up some rocks right here. You know, I'm thinking if you get rocks on my side of the field, I'd like you to have some on your side of the field too. It's only fair. So now Ditto comes in, and I'm sure that my opponent really did not appreciate what he saw when he saw my Swampert set, because there's nothing he can really do to touch my Swampert right here. There's nothing at all. So luckily we do pack the Protect, and that Pokemon, I'm 99% sure, is wearing a scarf. right? So we go ahead and protect up right here as he did what I thought he was going to do and clicked yawn. So seems like a great time to go ahead and bring in Machamp again because, well, yawn doesn't affect him. Plus we take minimal rocks damage with Machamp, so I'm not worried, not upset about bringing him in on rocks. And Machamp is about to claim another kill, or his first kill that I have showed y'all. I've gotten a few kills off camera, but this is the first one that y'all are gonna see. Now this close combat does huge damage. It does not knock out this Ditto because Ditto copied my defensive wall, so it's fully defensive invested. But it does huge damage. Okay, that's a fully defensive set, and we almost OHKO'd it. So Machamp is busted. Machamp is so strong. Machamp is the champ. What are you gonna do at this point? I mean, you got no switch-ins right here. That's the word on the street. So my opponent realizes that, and he does end up bringing out Zapdos for fodder. So there you go, Machamp claiming his first body, and that's a Zapdos going down to a close combat. That doesn't happen all that often, I don't believe, y'all. So right here, Zapdos is down, and Machamp is starting to get his defenses worn down a little bit, which is, I don't really like it, right? Because he does have a couple things in there that could really capitalize on my defense drops. Luckily he brings in the Ditto right here, who does die to rocks. Thank you, Machamp. So that's 2 kills for Machamp. Now he does bring in Muck, and I don't think that I can OHKO a Muck with this Machamp. I mean, possibly. I never ran the calc, but I don't think so. So he's about to scare me off the field, and I got to use my designated foddermon, Azelf. Every time I bring Azelf to a battle, it seems like the designated, okay, go in and die for us Pokemon, right? Because I know that about whatever he hits me with, he can shadow sneak me next turn, but he goes ahead and he hits me with a gunk shot. He wanted that kill. So that cleanly killed Azelf. I don't think the crit mattered. So I had to switch him in order to bring my Zapdos in right here, because I have to get rocks off the field, because my Cloyster really don't appreciate rocks on the field, right? So you set rocks and then you got to defog them off. That's the name of the game. But anyways, we go ahead and we click defog. I didn't roost because I don't know if he lands another gunk shot if I'd survive it, and I had to get rocks off the field. So rocks are off, and Muck is about to do the impossible. You know, he goes ahead and he hits another gunk shot right here. That's 2 for 2. I can't even land one of those suckers. Man, that's that luck that, like, you know, you're drinking and driving and you get pulled over and a cop says go home and be careful. That's that kind of luck. Anyways, back to the battle. Right here I do go ahead and I bring in my Swampert again. So Swampert's in because I know that there's no way that he can OHKO my Swampert in any kind of situation. So I'm gonna go ahead and I click Stealth Rocks right here, and because this is the Swampert game, the sacred Swampert set. All right, you click Stealth Rocks and then you click Yawn. Okay, and when you're pretty sure they're getting fed up with it, then you click Protect. So this set is so broken. Something's usually going to sleep with this Swampert set. Now I'm gonna start spinning him with Yawn. Sucker Punch fails, and I'm feeling sleepy, and so is Absol. So we Yawn Absol out right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and double Yawn because I'm sure he's switching. If he doesn't, he's going Night Night. And he brings in the Clefable. I wasn't too worried about him bringing the T-Tar in right there because he doesn't want to come into a waterfall. I mean, that's just not a move that he really wants to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and click Yawn again. Pretty sure he's not gonna bring T-Tar in right here. So he does bring the Absol back in. I called the shot correctly, and I end up Yawning Absol again. So this next play, I do end up clicking Waterfall right after this turn. Reason being because I figured that my opponent's getting kind of fed up and he thinks I'm going to keep leaning on that Yawn button. So I'm trying to catch the T-Tar right here, but he stays in and Sucker Punches me instead. Which, like, that's whatever. I don't really care. Thank you for Sucker Punching me, actually, because you've really just allowed me to set up my Cloyster. if you see a team that has a cloister, you should always be afraid of that cloister. Cloister's so threatening. Oh, and I don't know if y'all saw that when that Clefable came in. That's Magic Guard, not Unaware. So this cloister is ready to set the sweep up, right? So don't ever go to sleep. Don't ever let one of your Pokemon go to sleep if you can help it, if your opponent has a cloister, because you probably just lost the game at that point, honestly. So cloister's in, and we're gonna go ahead and smash up like cloisters do, and he's gonna go ahead and stay asleep. So Shell smashes up, and at this point, you know, I'm actually kind of just wanting to bring my Machamp back in and show it off a little bit more, but I mean that would be playing incorrectly. So I'm gonna just go ahead and stay in the rest of this this turn with my Cloister, and I'm thinking about going for a double smash because I know that we'll live any hit because we do have the sash, and then even if he sucker punches, I could Ice Shard and take priority over that because we're faster. But anyways, I don't decide to go for the double smash because it just seemed unnecessary to me, really. So he does end up bringing the Muck in. Now I'm not 100% sure if my Cloister can OHKO this Muck. I've actually never been in this position before, Cloister up against Muck like that. I don't think. At least I can't remember if I ever have been, but I definitely didn't remember the calcs, and we cleanly kill that Muck. OHKO, or I guess 3KO, but 1 move, right? Right here he does end up going into Clefable, and this is, I can't believe that it's Magic Guard Clefable. You don't hardly ever see that in BDSP, right? So luckily for me, this is gonna cleanly knock out that Clefable too. If it would have been Unaware in this position, I would have stayed in and kept hitting it with the Cloister, and then revenge killed it with my Machamp. But that's not how this story went. So back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. He does end up bringing in Gaiun right here. This is his last Pokemon. So we did set the Cloister sweep up, and thanks to Swampert, it was all possible. So yeah, this video is brought to you by Swampert, y'all. So I think that y'all probably know how this battle ends. Cloister swept again. Who'd have thunk it? So if y'all did enjoy this battle, go ahead and like and subscribe, and GG to my opponent. I hope that y'all have a good rest of the day, and I will catch y'all later. Peace.